The worst of this storm is going to pass just to the south of the Big Island, but then may curve up into the north and could be much more of a concern for the most populous island in Hawaii, which is Oahu right there. That's where Honolulu is. At this point, looks like a strong tropical storm, but as we know from Iselle, that can be enough to drop a lot of trees there in Hawaii, and we certainly could see quite a bit in the way of power outages. Steph, over to you.
Carl, I got to say, I just looked up all these observations in Mississippi, and they are in the 40s this morning.
Wow.
It just stood out that Jackson, it just seems so weird that north and south of it was so much warmer. Anyhow, Jackson, you're having a cool morning, people. Enjoy it. All right, now let's take you on into the Midwest and show you how things are shaping up for Cleveland, one of the areas where those showers are still kind of lingering around, and the reason being is we still have this low pressure. It's quite large, so it is lingering from the Midwest on into the Northeast. Cleveland, we are actually 5.74 inches above average for the year. It's just going to be those annoying sprinkles today. You can kind of see, if you look really closely, a little bit of a clockwork spin there in our radar. Now, these spits of rain are going to be like, do I turn the windshield wipers on? Do I not turn the windshield wipers on? If you put hairspray in your hair, it gets it all gooky. That's for all the ladies out there. You know what I'm talking about. So this is all going to continue to progress eastbound. It's not going to be that horrible of a day. A few clouds, and as we look at Cleveland, today, a few showers. Tomorrow, 67, and a mix of the sun and the clouds. So looking a lot better as we head into Cleveland, another place Al lived for a little bit of time.
That's right. 5 years along the Lake Ontario. Lake Erie. I'm on Lake Ontario right now, SUNY Oswego, and there are a lot of kids here, meteorology majors, who actually do storm chasing. There's a program here, and at 6:20, we're going to introduce you to some of those kids who learn how to get up close and personal with those big storms. All that and more coming up in the next minute and the next hour of Wake Up with Al.
Currently in our area, 69 degrees under. Today, abundant sunshine. High 83. Winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear, low 65. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Right now in the power hour of Wake Up with Al, prepare for a gloomy Thursday here across the Northeast as we track heavy rain and the threat for flooding. Find out how long before we finally dry out.
Also, we're double fisting in the tropics. We have double tropical trouble brewing as Bermuda braces for a direct hit from Hurricane Gonzalo. The East Coast will feel the effects too, and Hawaii prepares for Tropical Storm Anna. Carl Parker breaks down the track for both storms straight ahead.
Plus, storm chasing can be dangerous business, but it also provides life-saving, valuable information. We're going to catch up with student storm chasers here at SUNY Oswego. Coming up right now on the #1 morning show on television with weather, Wake Up with Al.
Live from New York and the heart of Rockefeller Center, it's Wake Up with Al with Al Roker and Stephanie Abrams.
Good morning, everybody. Thursday, October 16, 2014. Welcome to Wake Up with Al, a split edition. We're here at SUNY Oswego, the home of the great Lakers. I was a graduate here of 1976. I'm honored to have the television studio here named after me. And there's a very robust meteorology department here too, Steph. Some great future meteorologists who will probably come and take our jobs. How's it going there?
I'm okay with that. Al, were you raging in the meteorology studio all night with those kids?
Oh, man, I'm telling you, we had barometers passing around. Oh, it was fantastic.
All right, another busy morning here on Wake Up with Al. Yep, let's get right to it.
Yeah, we absolutely do. All right, show you what we've got going on, and it is busy. Of course, we've got a gloomy, wet day ahead here in the Northeast. The I-95 corridor, showers and thunderstorms causing big problems. Tropical double trouble. We've got Gonzalo in the east, Ana in the west, Bermuda under the gun from Gonzalo, and Hawaiian Islands threatened by Ana. And we've got a cool start in the Northeast. You see temperatures right now, not too bad for highs, mid-70s to the low 80s. But then look at what happens tomorrow. That front moves through, and boom, temperatures take a big hit before rebounding slightly. But again, the rough weather in the Northeast going to cause some problems on the roads and in the air. For more on that, here's Steph.
Okay, so let's show you what we are tracking here. And we have the system that we've been following for the entire week. It is now into Atlantic City and also into Portland. Now, a lot of areas in the Northeast actually don't really need the rain. We're right on target. I was looking at a bunch of different observations. So we don't need the rain, but we are going to get it. We've already had a lot of rain into places like Pennsylvania. In Schuylkill County, we've had over 4 inches of rain. And then this on top of it, therefore, we could see some flooding because too much rain, obviously, is just in a short amount of time. We all know what that does, right? I don't have to go into that. So here's a look at the radar. And as we head throughout the day, this whole low pressure, this again is what causes severe weather Monday and Tuesday. It is going to keep pushing north and east, and therefore we'll get it into places like Boston. Now, according to the city of Boston.gov website, do you know Boston was originally named Shawmut by the local Native Americans? Little interesting fact for you there for your day. So here's a look at Boston today. Afternoon shower. And then some gusty winds as well. Remember, this caused all that severe weather, but Al, it's losing its oomph as it moves its way through the Northeast, which is great news.
That is, Steph. Thank you so much. All right, let's check in right now with Carl Parker in the lab. And Carl, Gonzalo, Category 3 storm. This is not what they need in Bermuda after getting smacked around last week by Faye.
Yeah, when you think about it, there's going to be a lot of debris that's on the ground there. They're still cleaning up from that storm, which was a little bit of a surprise. This one is not a surprise, and it's a very mean storm. 140-mile-per-hour wind, now moving northward. We thought that northward turn would occur, and it's going to move more off to the north and to the east. And look at the structure of this thing, a very well-defined eye. Notice the high cloud fanning out very nicely, indicating a really favorable environment aloft. There's really nothing holding it back at this point, and so as it continues to move north, we think it's got a very good shot at being a Category 3 storm, maybe passing just west of Bermuda, and that would bring the very worst of the weather into Bermuda. And in fact, here is a look at the forecast path that comes in most likely around the middle of the day, starting in the morning, coming through the middle of the day tomorrow. And here is a look at the probability of hurricane force winds. So as we zoom in here, you notice these darker colors, and we've got a pretty high probability, now an 80% probability of hurricane force winds. So the models are really settling in on the idea of the storm passing either right over Bermuda or maybe just a little to the west. And if it is just a little west, that is actually a worst case scenario there in Bermuda. So hurricane warnings are now in effect. That means hurricane conditions are expected inside of 24 hours, and preparations should be rushed to completion at this time. And it's not only that, there's also a tropical storm that's taking aim on Hawaii. We'll talk more about that a little bit later in the show. Steph, back to you.
All right, Carl, and the reason it is worst case scenario is because you have the forward speed and also the winds on that side going in the same direction. So you have that extra push on the east side opposed to the west side. All right, let's get you up to speed on this morning's headlines. It was a rough day for commuters and pedestrians on Wednesday as storms moved across Washington, D.C., bringing torrential rain, leaving the capital drenched. Washington Dulles reported a record 1.3 inches of rain, breaking the old record of 0.93 set in 1970. Meanwhile, preparations are underway in Bermuda right now for Hurricane Gonzalo headed to the island. Shoppers are doing all they can to make sure they have what they need ahead of the storm. Bermuda's private schools are closed today, and government offices and public schools are closed Friday. Residents are being advised to prepare for up to 27 hours of tropical conditions starting late today. And U.S. astronauts replaced a failed electrical unit on the International Space Station yesterday yesterday, restoring full power to the facility. Only 7 of the 8 solar power channels had been working since spring. That sounds bad, but I guess they were okay. Astronauts had to wait on the repairs because of a year-long hiatus in non-emergency spacewalks by NASA. This was the second spacewalk in 2 weeks, and officials at Cape Canaveral say it was a success. As if it's not dark enough as it is out there already, right? Okay, let's take you into the Midwest with Jen, where we just have a few lingering spits of rain.
Oh, but they're the most annoying kind, Steph. Underneath this upper level low, we had it in Chicago yesterday. It was drizzle. It was annoying drizzle. We have it in Cleveland. We have it in Detroit. We're going to see that continuing off and on through most of today. But on the bright side, Chicago, you're actually going to finally brighten up the sky a little bit. And by 3, 4 o'clock, look what happens in Chicago. We get some sunshine out there. We haven't seen this in about 4 days, Chicago. So it's time for us to see the sun. We'll have the showers continuing into eastern Ohio, down into West Virginia. Meanwhile, the sunshine will continue for you in places like Kansas City. Nice royal blue sky again today. The weather on your side. All right, let's look at Cleveland. We've got showers out there. They continue off and on through the day today. It's not a terribly heavy rain, but it's an annoying rain that we'll keep here in Cleveland, which Al Roker, one of your other home sites there besides Oswego.
That's right. Absolutely, Jen. Well, we are going to turn and take our eyes and look toward the Pacific with Anna. What are emergency workers getting ready there for, and how can they do it when they have no money to prepare? Details coming up.
I'm part of Schaefer's Top Jazz Orchestra. It's the best music school in the country.
Were you rushing or were you dragging?
I don't know.
How's it going with Studio Band?
I think he likes me more now.
I push people beyond what's expected of them.
I'm gonna keep pursuing what I'm pursuing because I want to be great.
Whiplash, rated R. Now playing in select cities.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm on it. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're covered, Kevin.
Thanks, Melinda.
I have blah blah insurance, so person, come help.
Hey, Grandma. Dad, look who it is.
I see who it is.
6 callers ahead of us, Jimmy.
You're not helping.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. There to help you anytime, anywhere, anyway. That's getting to a better state.
Put on your thinking caps. Evaporation rate equals 700 times the mean temperature divided by 100 minus the latitude plus 15 times temperature minus dew point temperature divided by 80 minus temperature times millimeters per day. So easy, Sam. A caveman could do it. Got it? Great. There it is.
That is amazing.
camera. Oh my God. Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight. Wild weather at 8 on the Weather Channel.
What's in a can of Del Monte green beans?
If I was a flower growing wild and free, all I'd want is you to be my sweet honeybee. And if I was a tree growing tall and green, all I'd want is you to shade me and be my leaf.
Grown in America, picked and packed at the peak of ripeness, with natural ingredients. Del Monte, bursting with life.
Craig! 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 Hey, Craig!
Hey, Craig, it's me, Jake. Craig. All right, I'm going to take off. Let's go for a spin later. I'm down. Whenever you want, I'm pretty open.
Don't touch my Nobody touches my dart.
You're looking at Nashville, Tennessee right now, where it's a cool start to the morning in the Music City. So you might want to put some vinyl on the record player while you're getting ready and get fired up to walk out the door and have to deal with all that rain, get in a good mood. Now, did you know that according to MusicCity.com, Visit Music City, I should say, United Record, a vinyl pressing plant in downtown Nashville, is one of only 4 remaining vinyl manufacturers in the nation? Do the kids even know what vinyl is these days? I can't believe I'm old enough to say that. Okay, let's have a look at our lunchtime temperatures here if you're thinking about going outside. Atlanta, Memphis, Jackson, Charlotte, all in the 60s, 70s south of there. Our highs today are going to be just about average, a little below for some of us, and then we actually rebound. We see our highs tomorrow getting back up there. A cool start to the morning again tomorrow, 40s and 50s. Of course, right along the coast will be in the 60s. But in the afternoon hours, that's when our temperatures will pop back up into the 70s and also into the 80s. Ow.
Steph, thanks so much. You know, a number of the kids back here say they have vinyl. How many? All these kids, they all have vinyl. So it's making a big comeback. Well, we now turn to Tropical Storm Ana. The governor of Hawaii proclaiming a state of emergency as the island braces. They are getting ready for what could be a Category 1 hurricane by the time it reaches the Big Island. We go to the phone now. Shelly Kunishige is the public information officer for Hawaii Emergency Management, joining us now live. And Ms. Kunishige, thank you so much for joining us. You guys got hit with Iselle back in August, and that really kind of decimated your disaster fund. So what are you using to pay for getting ready for Ana?
Unfortunately, we're probably going to have to tap into the state's general funds. So money is going to come from budgets that were previously earmarked for other programs. But we're taking this very seriously, and we're looking to do all the emergency protective measures necessary. And, of course, we did get some supplemental federal aid for Iselle, so hopefully we'll see that federal reimbursement soon.
Ms. Kunishige, I know you've got to get folks ready. Are people taking this seriously? Are residents taking this seriously?
From what we've seen out there on the shelves in the stores, they're taking it seriously and going out and getting supplies. And we, of course, encourage them to review their insurance plans and get their homes and families ready.
And what about the tourists who are on the island, people either getting ready to come to the island or folks who want to get off the island? Are you working with the airlines to try to facilitate this? What's going on?
We've been working with the Hawaii Tourism Authority, and they're starting to get their messaging to their stakeholders out. But there are several airlines that have already waived change fees, so Hawaiian Air and Island Air being 2 of them that we know of. So we just encourage folks, if they're worried, to contact their airline and find out what their policies are going to be.
All right, Shelly Kunishige, thank you so much with Hawaii's Disaster Emergency Management Agency. Thank you so much. Let's send it back down to Jen, get the latest on the next 7 days.
All right, a lot of active weather. We've got, of course, Tropical Storm Ana, Hurricane Gonzalez, and then we've got this rain that is relentless in the Northeast, and it's still there again today. Watching showers heavy at times, especially in the tri-state in southern New England and then northern New England. Plus the upper level low behind it, bringing some showers through the Ohio Valley. That's not going away anytime soon either. Tomorrow, you'll still see that influence, and another little disturbance rolls on in through the upper Midwest through the weekend. All right, so south, we look great, right? Temperatures warm up, the sun is out. This is your classic fall weather, and we'll get that on Saturday. Football games look great through the southeast, through the northern plains, but by Sunday, watch for, again, another system heading through the upper Midwest. Steph, back to you. When storms roll into your community, storm chasers are out in the heart of the chaos, giving us an idea of what's happening in our backyards. Ahead, Al joins us from the campus of SUNY Oswego with some students who chase.
So I was a head chef at 24. I won Best New Restaurant in the Country at 31. I've published cookbooks. I've been on TV. I've relied on people every step of the way. I still do. I have to. So staying connected to those people, that's what makes me feel accomplished. They're people I connect with, that I'd sit at a table with. And these are the people that I ride with every day.
With 5 perfectly sweetened whole grains, you can't help but see the good. In the nation, the safest feature in your car is you. Add Vanishing Deductible from Nationwide Insurance and get $100 off for every year of safe driving, which for you shouldn't be a problem. Just another way we put members first, because we don't have shareholders. Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
Sign up today for AutoZone Rewards and earn store credit that'll come in handy for your next project. Spend $20 or more 5 times and earn $20 store credit. Visit AutoZone.com/rewards.
Shopping online is as easy as it gets. Wouldn't it be great if hiring plumbers, carpenters, and even piano tuners were just as simple? Thanks to Angie's List, now it is. Start shopping online from a list of top-rated providers.
Visit Angie'sList.com today.
Let's get weather geeky this morning. I'm going to kind of walk you through the life cycle steps of a tornado, including what first begins as a funnel cloud. As it gets organized, that funnel comes all the way down to the
the getaway vehicle.
For all the confidence you need. TD Ameritrade. You got this.
Want to watch all your live TV channels on any device in your home?
With Xfinity, every channel that's on your TV is on your tablet, anywhere in your house.
Oh my gosh.
You can do this on your phone also. You can do it on your phone, you can do it on a tablet.
You can watch all your live TV on any mobile device.
Ooh, that's exciting.
You wouldn't have to argue ever again.
That is a great idea.
With live TV on every device in your home, everyone gets to watch what they want. Upgrade to an Xfinity X1 Triple Play today and save when you bundle. See for yourself. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
96188. That's 1-800-499-6188. Or go online to theactivebrace.com. Call or click today.
The wildest weather ever caught on camera.
Oh my God!
Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight. Wild Weather at 8 on the Weather Channel.
Stay tuned for your local on the 8s, brought to you by LL Bean. 100% satisfaction guaranteed and free shipping every day.
Making jackets that are built to perform anywhere is hard work. And at LL Bean, we take our job very seriously. Guaranteed quality, no matter what you're up against. From LL Bean.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under fair skies. Today, abundant sunshine. High 83. Winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear, low 65. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
minutes past the hour. Time now for your tropical update. Let's go to Carl Parker, who's in the Weather Lab with more on Tropical Storm Ana and what we can expect for Hawaii. And Carl, it looks like this is going to go south of the Big Island and then hit those more western islands. But will we feel the effects there on the Big Island?
Oh, I'm sure we will. I'm sure there's going to be large surf and there could be heavy rain and some gusty wind. But it looks like there really has been a shift in the modeling. And it looks like the storm, the worst part of the storm, is going to pass to the south of the Big Island and then curve up and move more towards Oahu, which is where everybody lives in Hawaii. That's the most populous island, and that's where Honolulu is. There are people on all the islands, of course, but that's where most of the people live. So there's a look at the latest from the Hurricane Center. 60-mile-per-hour storm. It's moving west at 10 miles per hour. And as we look at the satellite picture, it's not terribly well formed right now. You've got some storms on the east side of that circulation, but it is definitely struggling. And part of the issue is the presence of this big upper low out here and the stronger winds that are coming up out of the southwest along with that. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how these two interplay in the next couple of days. Now, the modeling, again, shifting a little to the south of the Big Island, but then curving up and more towards those westernmost islands in the chain there. So here is the forecast from the Central Pacific Hurricane Center. We still have not taken out the possibility of a more direct hit, but it looks like it's going to be south of the Big Island, but then perhaps coming up towards Oahu as a strong tropical storm. And that certainly could mean power line damage and tree damage there in that populated area of Hawaii. We want to get out to Al now, who is at SUNY Oswego. And Al, it's not going to be very sunny today at SUNY, and I bet you've only heard that about 1,000 times.
Yeah, but you know, it just gets funnier, Carl. Thank you. I appreciate it. Believe me. Hey, I'm joined right now by the president of the college, Dr. Deborah Stanley. I'm also joined by student meteorologist. We've got Molly Matat and Andrew Janiszewski.
Correct. Yeah.
These guys take part in this program that actually has students going out chasing storms. And Dr. Stanley, let me ask you first, before you let students do this, you had to really have to think about this pretty carefully to send students out in dangerous weather conditions.
Well, I suppose, but discovery is what it's all about. I mean, students who are brave and want to take on this kind of curriculum, they're really interested in the intellectual development of how does this happen, especially with all the disruptive influences in weather these days, clear across the globe.
And in fact, Molly, you saw this firsthand when you guys went out storm chasing.
Oh, absolutely. It was definitely an experience, I'll say that. We got to see weather firsthand. I've never seen so much sky in my life. We saw 18 states in the Midwest in 10 days, and there were no obstructions, no buildings, and we got to see storms in their full glory. It was absolutely amazing.
Andrew, was there any point during this where you maybe were a little nervous, a little scared?
Yeah, but it's all part of the experience because you figure the people living in the plains, have to go through that as well. And of course, we're in it for the science, but it's, there's that aspect of it too, which is just makes the trip all the greater the experience.
What was the worst stuff you guys saw?
We saw one tornado.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of supercells, and we saw a pretty nasty hailstorm.
Tornado was in New Mexico too. It was beautiful in the middle of the desert.
That's right. And in fact, this, Dr. Stanley, you actually import these programs not just around the country but nationwide. I mean, internationally.
Internationally, actually. If you look at all of the flags that are flying on the ceiling here, we bring students from around the globe, everywhere around the globe, and we send our students out, and they follow you and get their perspective about how to treat people, how to go out into the world from what you do as well, Al.
Well, thank you. And Molly, I understand you are the chief meteorologist here at WTOP
Yes,
television?
at the Al Roker's television studio, I am.
Wow. So you want to be Stephanie Abrams when you grow up?
I would really enjoy that someday to be Stephanie Abrams. I would love to be just like her.
Or even Jen Carfagno.
Absolutely.
That's right. You do not want to be me, because then you got to lose your hair and gain about 100 pounds.
If I get to do the weather, I'll take it.
All right. Thanks so much. Guys, thank you. It's always good to see you. And speaking of course, storm chasing, we got big storms in the Northeast. We're going to look at that and bring you everything you need to know to get out the door as Wake Up with Al continues.
Invite? Remember to make reservations?
Absolutely.
Remember the tickets? Remember where we parked?
Absolutely. The generously appointed Lexus ES and ES Hybrid with leading-edge connectivity. Unforgettable.
a severe cold hold you back.
Sir?
Theraflu starts to get to work in your body in just 5 minutes. Theraflu breaks you free from your worst cold and flu symptoms. Theraflu, serious power.
Musical chairs. Fun, right? Well, not when your travel rewards card makes it so hard to get a seat using your miles. That's their game. The flights you want are blacked out, or they ask for some ridiculous number of miles. Honestly, it's time to switch to the Venture card from Capital One. With Venture, use your miles on any airline, any flight, anytime, no blackout dates. And with every purchase, you'll earn unlimited double miles. From now on, no one's taking your seat away. What's in your wallet?
Ring, ring.
Progresso.
I can't believe I'm eating bacon-enriched creamy cheese before my sister's wedding.
Well, it's only 100 calories, so you'll be ready for that dress.
Uh-huh.
You don't love the dress?
I love my sister.
40 flavors, 100 calories or less.
Mr. Clean's grandmother was stronger than people twice her size, and that strength inspired his Liquid Muscle Cleaner. It lifts tough dirt so you do less scrubbing, and its nozzle stops by itself so less is wasted. Sure made Grandma proud. Mr. Clean Liquid Muscle.
Your adventurous side is waiting. Your relaxing side is calling. Your Let's Do It All side has arrived. And an unforgettable Disney vacation is all within your reach. And right now, you can create a 7-day package, including a select Walt Disney World Resort hotel room and theme park tickets for as little as $78 per person per day for a family of 4. So come on, show your Disney side this year at the place where dreams come true.
If you have Medicare Part D, you could be at the corner of, I'm throwing away money, and I had no idea. Well, Walgreens has your back. Our expert pharmacists make it easy for you to save on your prescriptions, so you can keep your money where it belongs. Swing by Walgreens, where you could save even more with Medicare prescription copays as low as $0 at the corner of happy and healthy.
Sunday nights, the Weather Channel unravels nature's darkest secrets. Every Sunday, a new tale of weather legend.
It may have just looked like a storm, but they were dealing with something far worse.
American Supernatural. Sunday nights at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under fair skies. Today, abundant sunshine. High 83. Winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear, low 65. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
On AMHQ.
Let's get you in front of today's weather.
The biggest weather hour anywhere.
What a gorgeous start.
Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
No warning, nothing.
Sound like I guess you'd say a freight train.
Flash flooding, and look at that.
Live from New York and the heart of Rockefeller Center, it's Wake Up with Al Roker and Stephanie Abrams.
Good morning, everybody. Thursday, October 16, 2014, 30 minutes past the hour. Welcome back to Wake Up with Al. We're live. SUNY Oswego. We're in the Al Roker television studio. I graduated here from 76. It's a fully operational, professional operation. Look at this. They've got a teleprompter running. We've got the anchors, these kids learning how to become future broadcasters. Earlier, you met Molly Matat. She is their meteorologist. They even got a green screen going on so they can do all their weather stuff. Steph, everything they need. Back in the day when I was here, Steph, we had nothing like this. With black and white cameras, and that was about it. But again, these kids know exactly what's going on and bring you the latest in news and weather, just like you are bringing us the latest in news and weather every day here on Wake Up with Al.
Al, you have a piece of paper, where you draw on, or maybe the magnets. You and also our winter weather expert, Tom Nizzle, who also went to Oswego. Boy, what those walls would say if they could talk out. What would they say about your experience there?
They would say I was pretty dull and I didn't do very much, and it's amazing that I've gotten as far as I have. These are very bright kids, but in the meantime, let's get to our top three, everything we need to get you out the door. Let's show you what we've got. Starting off in the Northeast, man, what a mess. We're talking about gloomy, wet weather ahead, some heavy downpours. We're dealing with maybe some flooding, especially through New England. We're going to be watching that. Tropical double trouble, as we've been telling you all morning. We've got Gonzalo in the Atlantic taking aim, a Category 4 storm onto Bermuda. We've got Ana making its way toward the big island of Hawaii. We're watching that. And we've got a cool start to the Northeast coming up tomorrow. Temperatures today, not so bad. We're going to be looking at temperatures in the mid-60s in Atlanta, low 80s down in New Orleans. But look at these temperatures for lows tomorrow morning. We're talking upper 40s to the mid-50s. So really a chilly start. That's going to be a real shock to the system in the Southeast. But let's get to the Northeast. Steph, what a mess. And it's not done yet.
I know, and the thing is this system brought us severe weather Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, now rain into the Northeast, but that's what's dragging the cooler air down into the South this morning. Mississippi starting off in the 40s. But let's take you to where we do have the rain, and that's here into the Northeast, New York, up into Boston. You are going to see the showers as we head into the afternoon hours. They make rain boots now, ladies, that are high heels. Someone sent them to me on Twitter, literally on Amazon. There was two different kinds. They were high heel rain boots. They were very cute. Anyhow, we do have a flood advisories here. And Oswego, by the way, is just off the lake there, off of Lake Ontario, and it's kind of like in the center of the lake. So not the center of the lake, if you do the halfway point. You know what I'm trying to say. I got to get to this. I'm like two things going on at one time in my head. Can't do that, right? So showers moving through the Northeast. Places like Schuylkill, Pennsylvania, the county there, Schuylkill, Pennsylvania, 4 inches of rain, more rain on top of it. We have flood advisories. Here are the showers today. This is our low pressure. We'll talk about your lingering showers in the Midwest coming up, but this is all going to be moving north and east. So New England, it's going to be an afternoon event for you mainly. And we're going to clear out from the south northbound here, and that front is coming on through. So finally, we'll say goodbye to this system. Al, it only took almost an entire week for it to get across the country.
That's right, Steph. And I'm in the studio here. I wish I'd had this when I was growing up. I could have practiced the move like Ron Burgundy and sit on the corner of the desk. Let's go to Carl Parker, who is in the lab. And Carl, no sitting for you today. I mean, you've got so much going on, especially starting off with Gonzalo. I mean, man, this thing is really looking dangerous for Bermuda.
Yeah, it really is. And the models have really settled in, as we've been saying, on the idea of the storm either coming right over Bermuda or maybe just a little to the west. And that would be a worst case scenario for Bermuda, unfortunately. And here's a look at what the storm is doing right now. It's an incredibly dangerous hurricane, still a smallish storm, 140-mile-per-hour wind, moving north now at 9 miles per hour, and it's looking very healthy on the satellite picture, very well-defined eye, the upper-level cloud pattern spreading out very nicely, indicating a favorable environment aloft. There you see the stronger winds off to the west that will carry this thing to the north. Bermuda is a small target, and it's difficult to get the worst of a hurricane right over Bermuda, but again, the model's just really settling in on that idea. We haven't seen a lot of wavering. So what we're looking at is possibly a Category 3 hurricane coming into Bermuda, again, right over it or just to the west. And that would bring exceptionally strong winds into Bermuda going into late morning through the middle of the day and then through the afternoon. Al, this could be very bad indeed, unfortunately, there in Bermuda.
Yeah, boy, it's just really heartbreaking to think about what's going to happen. Carl, thank you so much. Well, as Carl mentioned, of course, Bermuda getting ready to get really whacked by this storm. We're going to go to our storm chaser, Mark Sudduth. He's on the island of Bermuda. He got there arriving ahead of the worst of it. So Mark, what preps have you seen since you got there?
Well, Al, so far, people are trying to get ready as best they can. But remember, there are not big box retailers here for them to go to and stock up on unlimited supplies. So it's difficult. What's here has to be utilized as best as it can, and people are doing what they can in the little time that they have still available.
What about people trying to get off the island? What have you seen and what have you heard airlines are doing? What's going on?
Well, people are still coming in. We've seen last night there was a soccer team that came in, a bunch of teenage boys with their coaches getting ready for maybe a tournament or something. I was thinking, wow, how could that be? Maybe they're going to have to turn around and leave. Tourists still coming in. The flight that I came in on, probably only 25% full. Now people are going to need to get out. They cannot have airplanes here and not have them be able to turn around and leave and potentially suffer damage at this airport, which is on the northeast part of the island, very susceptible to what could be Category 3 Gonzalo coming through here.
Yeah, so they just got hit by Faye last week. How do you think they're going to be able to fare with all the damage they've already sustained, and now they've got Gonzalo coming in?
Well, we were talking to some of the people here at the hotel about that last night, and Faye was a bit of a surprise to folks. They weren't expecting it to intensify and then move right over them as it did. What we're talking about with Gonzalo is a completely different beast, and I mean that literally, a strong, dangerous hurricane. Faye was a big nuisance and a problem. This is something that could be deadly and have really, really long-lasting consequences, especially if people do not take it seriously.
All right, Mark Sudduth, thanks so much. Stay safe. We will be checking in with you, obviously, right through the weekend. Let's go back to New York and Steph.
All right, Al, thank you. It's time now for our MSNBC headlines, and joining us this morning is Betty Nguyen. Good morning.
Good morning. Good to see you. It's been a little while. Good morning, everybody. Right now, the second Texas nurse infected with Ebola is now in Atlanta being treated at Emory Hospital. And now 76 of Amber Vincent's colleagues might be put on the no-fly list as health officials monitor them for symptoms. We're also learning that Miss Vincent took a Frontier flight from Dallas to Cleveland to visit her family. The CDC okayed it after she reported a low-grade fever of 99.5. The plane she traveled on is at Cleveland Hopkins Airport, where it will be cleaned for a fourth time. Now to Hong Kong, more clashes this morning after pro-democracy protesters try to block the main road outside of a government office. Police once again used pepper spray to try to control the crowds. Tensions are mounting after a video surfaced showing 6 police officers beating a handcuffed protester 2 days ago. And the average holiday shopper is expected to spend, ready, $804 this year. That is a 5% rise over last year's $767. Experts say shoppers will be driven by bargains. You ready to spend that much?
No. All right.
I thought that was just on my gift alone. No?
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under fair skies. Today, abundant sunshine. High 83. Winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear, low 65. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Yeah, I'm married. Does it matter? You do that for me? Really? Yeah, I'd like that.
Who are you talking to?
It's Jake from State Farm. Sounds like a really good deal.
Jake from State Farm at 3 in the morning? Who is this?
It's Jake from State Farm.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis?
She sounds hideous.
Well, she's a guy, so.
Another reason more people stay with State Farm. Get to a better state.
So we've had a Tempur-Pedic for a while, but now that we have the adjustable base, it's even better.
When I put my feet up on this bed, my stress just goes away.
Go up. Our Tempur-Pedic is the best thing in our house, except for my husband.
Wait, where are you going? Visit your local retailer and discover how Tempur-Pedic can move you.
Ring, ring.
Progresso.
Used to people have my kids loving vegetables.
Well, vegetables taste better in our savory broth. Vegetables?
No, soup.
Oh, soup.
Loaded with vegetables, packed with taste.
Here at High Acres, we always say life is better on the farm. And that's because we love what we do, which is growing the best tasting fruit available. After months of nurturing, our orchards are bursting with crispy, delicious apples. And we can't wait for you to taste them. That's why we work with Walmart. They help us deliver some of the freshest apples available, backed by their 100% money-back guarantee.
Picked by farmers, guaranteed by us.
What does a 37 million horsepower launch feel like?
Experience it for yourself. Only at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Meet real astronauts, see Space Shuttle Atlantis, and experience firsthand the future of America's space exploration.
What are you doing, Jay? Hang down your own tree.
It's my tree. I'm just trying to do something nice for the neighborhood birds.
You don't care about the birds. You're just trying to get their droppings on my dart.
Oh, how dare you? I've always supported birds. And what happened to you, Craig? You used to love birds. You had a bird as a best friend before. You'd hang out with it and socialize with it, and that bird lived right across the street. Now you got a stupid old dart.
That little bird with her feelings, that's you, isn't it, Jay?
Yeah.
This is a map of the pressure points on my feet.
I had flat feet. I learned where the stress was at the Dr. Scholl's Foot Mapping Center. Then I got my number, which matched the custom-fit orthotic inserts with the right support.
Go to drscholl's.com for locations and save $10.
I'm a believer.
What makes Thermacare different? 2 words. It heals. How? With heat. Unlike creams and rubs that mask the pain, Thermacare has patented heat cells that penetrate deep to increase circulation and accelerate healing. Let's review. Heat plus relief plus healing equals Thermacare. The proof that it heals is you.
Hershey's Spreads. Bring the delicious taste of Hershey's chocolate to anything. Everything. With Hershey's Spreads, the possibilities are delicious.
I got one shot. Let's go twins right, 24 stretch.
24 stretch, all diamond. Twins right, 24 stretch. All diamonds on 2 ready. When the game's on the line.
Hit them with a hard count. See if they'll tip their hand.
The NFL trusts Duracell Quantum to power their game day communication.
They're blitzing up the gut. Get out of the pocket.
Duracell Quantum lasts up to 35% longer than the competition.
Just about 43 minutes past the hour. Welcome back to Wake Up with Al. As I mentioned, we're at my alma mater, SUNY Oswego, here for some of the students in the background. I'm here for our Dr. Louis B. O'Donnell Media Summit. Some great media folks talking about what's going on. But one of the things I did many times when I was a student here back, I went to the Oswego Sub Shop, and this young man was behind the counter, Bill Green Sr., his son Bill Green Jr., and your dad used to be behind the counter as well.
Right.
So this is a multi-generational thing. And before I ask you about this sub that you named after me, you guys bake your own rolls. How does weather affect what you do in the bakery as far as getting these rolls just right?
Humidity does play a little bit of part, and sometimes we have to cool the water down on warmer days to get the bread just perfect.
Because everybody talks about the rolls here, the sandwich rolls that you make your subs on.
Yep.
It's pretty special.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for you.
Especially for me. Tell me what's in the Al Roker sub.
Well, it's ham, turkey, Swiss cheese, hot peppers, sweet peppers, onions, tomatoes, lettuce, and oil and vinegar.
Is this a popular sub?
Very popular.
Very popular. It's a... Who's going to take a bite? All right, let's go on the other side. We'll go to the other side. There you go. All right. That's okay. 2 at the same time. There you go. Making sure America's youth is healthy and well fed. Hold on just a second. We're going to pay. So your sub shop, this is a 40th anniversary. Why is this? I mean, look, there are a lot of 45th, that's right. Why? Look, there are a lot of chains out there. What is it about a local sub shop in a college town?
Well, we take care of the customers if we are going to eat each sub ourselves. That's one of the mottos I tell the girls. They sit down, take care of that customer, make sure you're going to make that sub the correct way, and we haven't changed one thing. If you bought a sub in 1969 and bought one today, you couldn't tell the difference.
I can attest to that because I had more than one sub here when there were some nights I did 2 subs. I do a roast beef and I do a meatball sub. Bill, was there any questions you were going to follow in your dad's footsteps?
No, I've been working there since I was 14 and took over and made some renovations and improvements there. Today a lot of chains order stuff in pre-packaged, pre-sliced. We don't take any shortcuts. Not only do we bake our own bread, we're cutting, chopping, mixing, everything there fresh daily. So that's what makes a difference in our staff. We've had some girls there over 40 years, a couple others over 30 years.
Wow.
So it's our staff that gets a lot of credit.
Well, folks, staff, I can't send this to you. Jen Carfagno back in Atlanta. I'd love to send this to you. I will take a bite in absentia for you.
Do it for all of us, Al. That looks like a great sandwich. The Al Roker sub. Love it. And I love that the dew point factors into making the bread that sub is on. It always comes back to dew points, doesn't it? I mean, today in the Northeast, you step outside, it's very humid. It feels like almost a spring morning. Dew points are in the 60s, temperatures in the 60s, and it's raining. Meanwhile, the front made its way all the way through Florida. Our dew points have dropped off. We've got clear skies, and we have much, much drier and less humid air out there. It looks beautiful for the next couple of days through the Southeast. Not so much in the Midwest here. The system we're tracking is on the move, and it's heading out, although tomorrow we still have rain to contend with, and actually could be some tropical moisture getting up to that into Maine. But we've got a couple of fronts that are going to move right across the upper Midwest into the Northeast, keep us very active. Through the weekend, we'll have some showers out there, some cooler air moving in as well. Highs only in the 50s in places like New York City and Boston, low 50s at best. Then keep an eye on things next week, because the pattern that we are tracking, these series of storms moving across the northern part of the country, kind of like clippers. Eventually, one of them gets off the coast and really gives us a nor'easter-like storm. We'll get those strong gusty winds, we'll get the rain, and Tuesday, Wednesday next week look pretty miserable weather-wise in the Northeast. Meanwhile, in the Southwest, we're looking a little more like August than we are October. Get some monsoon moisture coming back in to parts of the Southwest. All right, Steph, rain boots needed here, and you know what else they make? They make cowboy rain boots too, not just high heel rain boots, cowboy rain boots.
You know how we love us some cowboy boots on this show. Well, all eyes on Gonzalo in the Atlantic and on in the Pacific. Preparations are underway. Carl Parker brings us the latest after your look on the 8s.
19 years ago, we thought, wow, how is there no way to tell the good from the bad? So we gave people the power of the review. And now Angie's List is revolutionizing local service again. You can easily buy and schedule services from top-rated providers. Conveniently stay up to date on progress and effortlessly turn your photos into finished projects with our SnapFix app. Visit angieslist.com today.
Sunday nights. When the wind blows. The Weather Channel unravels nature's darkest secrets.
I saw something. I don't know how to explain it.
Every Sunday.
It's a story that's got a life of its own.
A new tale of weather legend.
It may have just looked like a storm, but they were dealing with something far worse.
American Supernatural. Sunday nights at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under fair skies. Today, plenty of sunshine. High 83. Winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Low 65. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
With 5 perfectly sweetened whole grains, you can't help but see the good.
Look for Big G cereals with money-saving offers on these breakfast favorites and give your budget a boost.
It's Chevy Truck Month, time when truck guys can depend on great offers on the 2014 North American Truck of the Year. Chevy Silverado, from the family of the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road. It's Truck Month. Trade up to this Silverado Crew Cab LT All-Star Edition for a total value of $8,500. It's Truck Month. See your local Chevy dealer today.
You can search hotel sites for so long that your hair goes out of style. Or use Kayak to search hundreds of hotel sites to find the best deal in seconds. Kayak. Search one and done.
Sign up today for AutoZone Rewards and earn store credit that'll come in handy. If I told you that a free 10-second test could mean less waiting for things like security backups and file downloads, you'd take that test, right? But what are you waiting for? You could literally be done with the test by now. Now you could have done it twice. This is awkward.
Go to ComcastBusiness.com/check-your-speed. If we can't offer faster speeds or save you money, we'll give you $150. Comcast Business. Built for business.
If I told you that a free 10-second test could mean less waiting for things like security backups and file downloads, you'd take that test, right? But what are you waiting for? You could literally be done with the test by now. Now you could have done it twice. This is awkward.
Go to ComcastBusiness.com/check-your-speed. If we can't offer faster speeds or save you money, we'll give you $150. Comcast Business. Built for business.
96188. That's 1-800-499-6188. Or go online to theactivebrace.com. Call or click today.
The wildest weather ever caught on camera.
Oh my God!
Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight. Wild Weather at 8 on the Weather Channel.
52 minutes past the hour, and Sam picked just the wrong day to come be live in New York because he is stuck in the rain. Sam, I'm thinking you're outside, or did you get to move? Oh, no, you're outside. Sorry about that.
No, we're out. Steph, I would say we picked the right day because here we are, day 3 in this October outbreak, and now all this moisture has squeezed into the Northeast. So we're watching that rain depart from the New York City area. And Steph, you can just hop down the FDR and come down and join me because we're here at the Staten Island Ferry Terminal. About every 30 minutes, a big rush of people will come out of here to move into Lower Manhattan during the morning hours. So now this rain is Long Island, Rhode Island, Connecticut, on into Boston. And we've seen these rainfall totals 2 to 3 inches in Pennsylvania with this training rain. This will continue today, and then we'll snap into this cool air that's behind me right now, whipping through Lower Manhattan. This is what's in store for the rest of the Northeast. We're talking about really fall temperatures. I know we've been stepping it in now, but boy, I'll tell you, Steph, when you're outside this morning, you could feel this wind, and you could just kind of smell fall in the air.
I can see it on your face. You're excited for that fall as well. Sam, thank you. Now it's time for a tropical update. And we're double fisting it right now. And Carl is going to show us why we're double fisting it. And we're kind of like quadruple fisting it. We got 2 different storms in 2 different basins.
Yeah, there's a lot going on right now, and I want to show you a picture that we just got from Dr. Peter Neely, and he is the head of our forecast department at the Weather Channel. He has been on vacation in Bermuda. He was there last weekend during Tropical Storm Faye and sent us some amazing video of the wind there. He said hurricane force wind easily for an hour. And he's still there and will be there as this new storm comes in. Notice that there are no boats in the harbor from his vantage point there. Everything has been moving out in anticipation of this big storm. So they are battening down the hatches. They are getting ready for what is a very dangerous storm. 140-mile-per-hour wind. This is a Category 4 hurricane. When you look at the satellite picture, very well-defined eye, ring of intense storms around that eye. That's the eye wall. And you notice the higher clouds spreading out very nicely in all directions. The upper level environment is favorable. So there's not much holding this storm back. And it could very well be a Category 3 as it passes just west of Bermuda. And that really is a worst case scenario for Bermuda because that's the most dangerous part of the storm, what's called the right front quadrant. So when we look at the hurricane wind force probabilities, right now there's about an 80% chance that we're going to get into hurricane force wind, and it could be a lot higher than hurricane force. Some timing differences in the models. This is the GFS model, still showing a larger area of winds, but it's actually probably not initializing as well. I think the European model is better in that respect. This one's showing the storm really coming in around the middle of the day tomorrow, and the European model is just a little bit later, showing it coming in more towards early afternoon and then continuing through the afternoon. So preparations should now be rushed to completion there in Bermuda. Hurricane warning in effect. That means hurricane conditions are expected inside of 24 hours. All right, Tropical Storm Ana, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Not looking all that healthy on the satellite picture right now, and part of the reason for that is the presence of this big upper low, which is off to the west, bringing some stronger winds in out of the southwest. So we'll have to see how those two interact in the next couple of days. Models have shifted a little bit, taking it more to the south and then curving up. So it may be that it misses the big island of Hawaii, maybe a glancing blow, but it could take aim on Oahu, which is where most of the Hawaiians live. Might be a tropical storm at that time, but certainly that could be enough to cause a lot of damage to trees and also to power lines. Steph, back to you.
All right, Carl, thank you. We're now going to bring it back to the lower 48 and talk about the weather in the Northeast for our Saturday, our weekend forecast. We're almost there. It's Thursday. We are going to see nice weather along the 95 corridor, but showers inland here in the Northeast. Sunday, will we see better weather? It will be, and it's going to be cool for everyone. Look at the Q's, 45 chilly degrees for you. Now, that's what's happening in the Northeast. How about the Southeast? Will we see the same? It's really going to be a quiet weekend overall in the Southeast. Phenomenal weather here. 70s and 80s, even the 60s in some spots. Sunday, a repeat of that. The Midwest, we've been dealing with these showers because our upper low associated with our system that we've seen since Sunday, this is actually day 5 of this system, still lingering today. Saturday, we'll see a few showers here from another system. Sunday, that's going to clear out, but Minneapolis, we could see a little bit of rain. And lastly, quickly, our South Central region. We are going to stay dry for our Saturday for the most part here, and our temperatures on the comfortable side as well. All right, Al, it's over to you.
Steph, thanks so much, and that does it for Wake Up with Al. We are at SUNY Oswego. Again, we had a great time here. And don't forget, AMHQ with Sam Champion and everything you need to know as you head out your door. We will see you coming up at 10 a.m. with an updated edition of Wake Up with Al. Have a good one, everybody.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under fair skies. Today, plenty of sunshine. High 83. Winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Low 65. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Good morning. It's Thursday, October 16th, and welcome to AMHQ. We're live this morning in New York City, Lower Manhattan, right here outside the Staten Island Ferry Terminal. About every 15 minutes, a group of people will rush into Lower Manhattan, and it's the Northeast today that is day 4 of this October severe weather outbreak. We'll drop some of the severe, but we're getting some very heavy rain through the area. We've seen anywhere from 2 to 3 inches of rain from Pennsylvania all the way through here, and now we'll track that rain north. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning to you, Sam. The other big story that we're following this morning, a hurricane. It's Gonzalo, the strongest hurricane in the Atlantic in 3 years. Where's it headed? Right toward Bermuda. Hurricane warnings are issued. Tourists and residents advised to hunker down. We'll detail when it arrives and the potential impacts.
Break out the sweaters. Yep, there's a cool down coming from much of the Midwest and the Northeast, so how low will it go? And the second Texas nurse diagnosed with Ebola arrives in Atlanta for treatment as Dallas County considers declaring a state of emergency because of the deadly disease. Rain continues to pound the Northeast, causing dangerous road conditions here in New Cumberland, Pennsylvania, just south of Harrisburg. Slick conditions on Interstate 83, making the commute really just a nightmare. Rush hour traffic brought to a standstill after a collision. Harrisburg hit with just under an inch of rain on Wednesday. Along with that, the strong gusty winds that were up to 31 miles per hour. So, Sam, hopefully for many in the Northeast, getting a little bit better of a morning drive today.
It'll take its time, Maria, but it's working its way. Let us show you the rain that was falling right here as we were setting up this morning. Again, some of this rainfall coming in just a 24-hour burst of 2 to 3 inches of rain. And then behind it comes this whipping wind. We've had a pretty steady wind right here of about 15 miles an hour in Lower Manhattan with gusts up to about 25. Let's get to the big board, the overview. We'll show you all the things that are, well, kind of coming together to work through your Thursday, no matter where you are in the U.S. We've got 2 tropical systems, one in the Pacific, one also in the Atlantic. Let's dive down and talk about Ana first. This storm is the one that is going to take the most watching, we think, because it has the most wiggle room. Does it continue to develop? Is it encountering a little shear? We'll have all the expert opinion today as it moves toward Hawaii in a direction that is really unseen in the Hawaiian history. So we'll continue to watch this storm. Now, on the East Coast, we'll talk a little bit about Gonzalo. This is a very, on the other end of the spectrum, a very powerful, well-organized storm that has a direction and is driving directly toward Bermuda. It'll have some impacts on the East Coast in the form of waves and rip currents, but this storm is really going to pound that island, and we'll have the expertise and time it out for you there. Now into the East Coast. This is day 4 of this cold front marching through the country, bringing severe weather through a good part of the Southeast, and now heavy rain into the Northeast. That rain continues just a little bit today, but we're trying to wring out the very last moisture from Philly all the way to New York, and it'll be heavier rain in Boston during the day today. Time some of that rain out just to get an idea of what this will look like today, and you can see the models are trying to bring those clouds out behind the rain. The rain will end first, then you'll stay in the clouds a little bit. It's going to end from south to north. So South Jersey, you're already beginning to pull out of some of that moisture, and you're watching it kind of move across Long Island in heavy form, also into Connecticut, Rhode Island, and soon into the Boston area. A live look at New Haven, Connecticut this morning, and you can see we still have a flood advisory in effect for that area as we watch that training rain, an awful lot of heavy rain moving there. Here's the way this moisture is lining out on the radar live this morning. Northern New Jersey, good morning, all the way into lower New York State. You're beginning to see the Hudson Valley, that heavier rain pass through there. Also in Connecticut, we feel like that batch of rain that's coming off Long Island, moving on the Connecticut coast, will continue to be the heaviest rain of the morning. So I-95 really going to be an issue with standing water as we move anywhere from Connecticut into Rhode Island and up toward Boston this morning. It's a long line of training rain. You can see how it's moving more to the north even than it is to the east. So timing it out during the day today, by the time we get to 9:30 this morning, Hartford, you're right under it. Providence, you're getting ready to get into it by 11:30 this morning. And we'll continue to see these batches of heavy rain follow along that front, developing over the Atlantic, then running onshore. So even by 8 o'clock tonight, Boston, you're still in some of the rain, and Cape Cod is getting pounded with very heavy rain. And remember, back behind it is that cold, gusty wind that'll whip in behind it and let you know, hey, we're solidly in October, and this is going to start a fall weather pattern. 69 degrees in New York today. Those thunderstorms are kind of history for you, but we're going to leave the opportunity of 1 or 2 coming in with these showers, as still an awful lot of moisture is offshore. Maria?
Well, Sam, I want to show you something really, really cool. There's the front that's bringing all the rain to Sam up there in New York. But look at this. This is now Hurricane Gonzalo, Category 4 storm headed toward Bermuda. It's what it looks like on satellite. Pretty, you can see that eye very well defined right there. Hurricane warnings have been posted for Bermuda, with the storm expected to hit the island hard tomorrow. The premier saying Bermuda is taking the storm very seriously and preparing for the worst.
We will position resources in various parts of the island so as soon as the storm passes through, we can get back to assess what needs to be done, take care of any challenges we might have, whether it be injuries, trees down, blocking roads. So we'll position our resources strategically through the island. Also, we have an agreement with the British government that a British warship will come in on Saturday morning after the storm if need be. And of course, you know, we have great neighbors all throughout the region who will offer assistance if need be, such as people to get out and help restore the electricity.
Okay, so there you have it. Obviously, I'm with Mike Bettis and Carl Parker, and we look at the storm. We see Cat 4, we see 140-mile-per-hour winds, but we always say there's so much to telling the weather story of what an island like Bermuda is going to be feeling, because it's not necessarily right dead in the center of that storm.
And the thing is, it's a tiny little speck on the map, too, and it looks like it is going to get nailed.
Yeah, you know, and they're generally really well prepared for storms like this, but this is a really big deal. I mean, we're talking about a Category 3 storm probably at landfall, and right now it's a Category 4 hurricane, 140-mile-per-hour wind moving north at 9 miles per hour. And here's a look at the forecast track and intensities from the Hurricane Center. Now notice the center line of that track. That means the best guess right now is that the storm would actually be just a little west of Bermuda. That is actually the worst case scenario, and here is why. Let's talk about the right front quadrant of the storm, and we're basically looking at the strongest winds there because you've got very strong wind coming up and around that circulation of the hurricane, but then you add to that the forward motion of the storm. So let's say it's picking up speed and moving at 15 miles per hour. It's got 115-mile-per-hour wind. That means you're talking about potentially 130-mile-per-hour wind in that right front quadrant, as it's known, and that's why we think it's going to be so dangerous.
It's going to be a worst case scenario in that perspective, but a lot of the locals will call it the clean side or the dirty side, and if you're on that dirty side, you don't want to be there, right? The faster motion obviously could cause some, we think a lot about in America, surge issues. They're not as surge prone in Bermuda, though. This is going to be a big wind event for them.
Yeah, there's a thing about the shelf there. When you've got a very shallow continental shelf, as we have in the Gulf of Mexico, then the wave energy and all that water is able to pile up and make it to the coast. In this case, you've got a very steep shelf, but you will get tremendous wave action, and because of wave run-up and wave setup, you will get waves that cause a lot of problems along the coast. Let's talk about the probabilities of strong wind. They're way up there. Hurricane force wind probabilities now up to 80% in Bermuda. So the modeling has really settled in on the idea of this storm causing a lot of problems. Now, here's the GFS model, and notice how it really does blow out that wind field to the north and to the east.
It's really big.
It is, and I think it's probably a little too big because it's not modeling the system very well right now. It's already showing a large area of strong winds, and in fact, it's still a more compact storm. It's still smaller than the average hurricane. So the European model doing a pretty good job. The GFS model is a little faster, really ramps things up at noon. The European model says more like 2 p.m. So around the middle of the day tomorrow it gets going.
Regardless of the timing, the impact could be big, especially with the wind. All right, Carl, thank you very much. Much more on this, and Ana could threaten Hawaii next.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under fair skies. Today, plenty of sunshine. High 83. Winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Low 65. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to AMHQ. We're live right here outside the Staten Island Ferry Terminal. About every 15 minutes, a group of people hit Lower Manhattan here, getting ready for their day. We had some very heavy rain move through the area this morning, and now it's a strong gusty wind that lets you know the backside of that rain is beginning to push into the northeast. Let's show you a radar right now and show you who's in for some of this rain this morning. You can see Staten Island kind of getting a little clearer. Long Island beginning to get into the heavy rain. That rain will completely train all the way through Connecticut. Then it runs through western Massachusetts, continues into Vermont, New Hampshire. Slowly, this line will move east and the rain will follow. But right now, you're looking at very light showers in Boston. Good morning. How are you guys doing? How are you? Nice to see you. Moving that rain all the way through New England this morning and the winds to follow. We will have some travel delays. We'll have some airport slowdown here. A lot of this due to some of the wind and also some of the rain. So if you look at those airport delays, there's about a 62-minute delay already in LaGuardia. They had very heavy rain to get through this morning. They had to space out some of those planes, and then the strong wind coming in behind it. Maria?
Those are strong winds of change, Sam. So we're going to get a bit of a cool down, to say the least, and it's going to progress from west to east as we go through the week. Let's take a look, for example, Minneapolis. We have Detroit, where you're going to make it up to 70 degrees by Saturday, just into the 50s. And Boston, a very similar story, where you're starting off relatively mild. How about near 70 to how about into the 50s for highs on Sunday? And you know there are going to be places that are not going to get out of the 40s. So here's the setup here. You have obviously our hit cities right there on the map, but you have a cold front and an area of low pressure. What that is going to do is going to be on the move and going to get deeper and dig and dig and dig, and that's going to allow more and more cold air come in. So let's kind of time it out for you. For today, the cooler air is in the Great Falls area, northern Rockies. It's going to be moving into the plains as we get in through tomorrow. So Rapid City, that's going to equate to about 10 to 15 degrees below average for you. Minneapolis as well. It continues for the weekend into Chicago and Toledo, Cleveland. Here now we're talking maybe closer to 10 to 20 degrees below the average. And then by Sunday, that cooler cool down here for Buffalo, New York, Philadelphia, all the way up into New England, and even helping to contribute to, yes, lake effect snow. Believe it or not, the lakes are open for business, and we have that kind of cool air coming in through the weekend. So let's take a look. Minneapolis for today, you're at 71 degrees. Tomorrow, you're into the 50s. That's more in line with average for the end of October. By Friday, Chicago, you're near 60. By Saturday, just near 50. That's more in line with the average for mid-November. And similar story for you, New York, Saturday, pushing that 70-degree mark, but by Sunday, it's going to feel like mid-November, just into the 50s. So get ready, grab those sweaters. All right, let's take a look at some of the stories making headlines today with Reagan Medji.
Good morning, Maria. The strongest Atlantic hurricane in at least 3 years is heading straight for Bermuda and could make a direct hit tomorrow. Right now, Hurricane Gonzalo is a Category 4 storm. Sustained winds 140 miles an hour. The International Airport in Bermuda is closing tonight and will likely stay closed most of Saturday. Many stores are reporting they are out of things like generators, batteries, rope, and tarps. Dallas County will decide today whether to declare a state of emergency as they deal with a third Ebola diagnosis. Just like after a natural disaster, the declaration would free up money and other resources. In the meantime, the second nurse just diagnosed with Ebola, 29-year-old Amber Vinson, is now in Atlanta for treatment. Video shows she was able to climb the steps to board the CDC's special isolation plane from Dallas. We just saw that video now. Emory University Hospital successfully treated Ebola patients Dr. Kent Brantley and Nancy Wright-Bull. An unidentified American doctor is still recovering at the hospital. The CDC wants to hear from the 132 passengers who flew on a Frontier Airlines flight with that nurse we just told you about from Cleveland to Dallas on Monday. Take note, the plane was taken out of service yesterday and disinfected before being returned to service last night. Airport screenings, we've all been talking about this, for Ebola begin today at 4 more airports. Those airports, Chicago O'Hare, Newark, Dulles, and Atlanta. Screenings at JFK up in New York City began on Saturday. Passengers arriving from 3 West African countries will go to a separate area, be questioned, and then have their temperatures taken. Anyone with Ebola-like symptoms will be taken to a hospital immediately. 150 people travel from those countries to the U.S. every single day. Those are your headlines for this half hour. Maria, back to you.
All right, Reagan, thank you so much. Coming up on 14 minutes past the hour, I want to update you as well on Tropical Storm Anna. It's inching closer and closer to the Hawaiian Islands. Storm's expected to make landfall as a Category 1 hurricane Saturday morning. Now, as a popular destination spot, the director of the Pacific Disaster Center, Erin Huey, says tourists could be greatly impacted by the storm.
I think for tourists, be prepared, be aware. Make sure you're listening to local emergency managers, and then, talk to your hotel. Everybody should have a plan in place.
That's right, and we already have the watches up, posted for the Big Island of Hawaii. Tropical storm watch right now. What that means, conditions could be deteriorating within this 24 to 36 hour period. But watching where we're forecasting Anna to go, keep in mind that when we show you the cone, don't necessarily concentrate just on that center line, because obviously those effects are going to be felt along the islands whether or not we get a technical landfall. Sam?
All right, Maria, we've got an awful lot coming up in the show. We've got the 3 things you need to know this morning, and of course, we're live in New York, tracking the big rain as it moves into the Northeast.
Progressive Insurance here. Ever since we launched Snapshot, my life has been positively great. What's Snapshot, you ask? Only a revolutionary tool that can save you big time. Just plug it in, and the better you drive, the more cash you'll stash. Switching to Progressive can already save ye $500. Snapshot could save ye even more. Meet maiden, bringeth to me thine spiciest wings of buffalo.
Maybe you didn't know, people with the flu can spread it up to 6 feet away. Or that flu can make chronic conditions worse. Maybe you didn't know any of the stuff your Rite Aid pharmacist knows. But now that you've gotten your flu shot at Rite Aid, maybe you don't need to.
Zantac heartburn alert! Stop! Nexium can take 24.
As women, we always talk about how we should look or what's the best way to lose weight. But for me, it finally became all about how I feel. I looked in the mirror and I saw what I didn't want to see. That's when I decided I had to lose weight. So I chose the only simple option for me, Nutrisystem.
And now, with Fast 5 from Nutrisystem, you can lose weight fast. Lose 5 pounds in your first week or your money back guaranteed.
I lost 50 pounds.
Order your 28-day My Weight plan right now, including Fast 5. Get 1 week of specially selected meals, plus 1 week of energizing shakes, and 1 week of Craving Crusher shakes, free. And wait, there's more. Call or click in the next 4 minutes and we'll throw in a 21-day supply of NutriCurb, a $39.99 value, free. It's a breakthrough product that works with your body to fight hunger.
So why do I keep telling you about Nutrisystem? Because it works, and I know it'll work for you.
Call 855-917-SLIM and lose your first 5 pounds fast.
And now at 1-800-967-2350. The savings could really add up.
Home improvement improved with the Home Depot Project of the Week. We take you step by step through great seasonal tips and easy-to-do projects for your home and garden every Saturday morning on Weather Center Live. And for more information and inspiration for your next how-to project, go to weather.com/Home Depot.
Stay tuned for your local on the 8s, brought to you by LL Bean. 100% satisfaction guaranteed and free shipping every day.
Making jackets that are built to perform anywhere is hard work. And at LL Bean, we take our job very seriously. Guaranteed quality, no matter what you're up against. From LL Bean.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, plenty of sunshine. High 83. Winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. tonight, mainly clear skies. Low 65. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
"19 minutes past the hour here on AMHQ. Good morning to you in Key West, Florida. 82 degrees to start your morning. You have some wet roads there. By the way, stone crab season kicked off yesterday. Fishermen expected to bring in 2.6 million pounds of crab claws between now and May 15th. I had no idea, Sam, so grab the butter. Let's go.
Good morning, Maria. So we're standing here at the Staten Island Ferry Terminal, and that south wind is blowing right off the water. We've had gusts up to about 26 miles an hour that lets you know that we're about to change this weather pattern for a good part of the Northeast. Still following some heavy rain this morning, but let's get you caught up. The National Weather Service now confirming that 31 tornadoes from the severe weather outbreak that moved across the country this week. We're officially in that day 4 now. We've gone to some rain, more than severe, and we've gone to heavy rain at that for the Northeast. Most of these tornadoes were in Illinois. Overall, we saw severe weather reports in 19 states starting on Sunday. 2 people were killed in this outbreak. A woman who died when a tree fell on her home in Alabama, and a former Marine. Terrible story, whose home was hit by an EF2 tornado, and I believe that was in Arkansas. Let's check the airport delays that are going on this morning, because we certainly have some. And as you watch these delays mount up into the Northeast, and because of the rain and because of the wind, we start spacing out these planes that are trying to get into this area. That's going to have a ripple effect across the country today. So due to this weather in the Northeast, even though it's cleared out in a good part of the country from this line of weather that was so severe as it moved through the Southeast, we will continue to see some of these delays. Mike, I gotta say, this wind is letting you know that fall is in the air, so winter can't be too far behind. In Atlanta, Mike's going to talk a little bit about the winter weather list that we're going to unveil on our winter weather storms. Mike, good morning.
Yeah, that's right, Sam. Good morning to you. You know, winter storms last year affected a lot of the country, from Winter Storm Atlas to Zephyr, 26 named storms in all, and one you may remember for all the wrong reasons, Winter Storm Leon.
Well, already we've told you about the snow that we're finding in Atlanta right now. So the Georgia impacts Winter Storm Leon. Definitely widespread wintry weather over the Deep South.
Just trying to get home. Hour and a half, and I've only gone a mile.
Employees here at the Weather Channel getting stuck on roadways coming into work and leaving work.
And here in the parking lot, you can see the cars are just lined up trying to get out and get home.
Doesn't take a lot of snow to cripple towns like Atlanta, Georgia, and it was a standstill across the city. Here now with our winter weather expert, Tom Nizzle, getting ready to unveil what the next winter season could look like, and a lot of things you look at when you put this together. Temperatures, though, are generally a key.
Temperatures are a big key to winter weather. You need cold air to develop winter weather. And so we do have our winter forecast, Mike. This is for the 3-month period, December, January, and February.
All right, let's reveal. Let's take a look at it and show you exactly what the forecast reveals. And Tom, walk us through this, and what do you see, you know, west, central, and east?
Well, if we take a look at the forecast map here in the west, once again, we're looking for warmer than normal temperatures. Now, if you look at the east, it's showing colder than normal temperatures, and that's over that extended winter period. It looks like that colder weather is going to develop more likely after the first of the year in the east.
So maybe a little bit later than earlier. What comparisons can you draw to last year? Because we had a pretty cold winter in a lot of places last year.
Yeah, well, last year, of course, that really cold weather was centered in the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes region, and boy, do we remember what happened with some of that.
Got nailed. I mean, hammered.
Yeah, there were some really cold conditions. If we take a look at some of the statistics that we see for that year, we'll take a look as an example in Chicago. They had, I believe it was their 3rd coldest winter on record. Detroit, their snowiest winter on record. Oh. And you remember the Great Lakes ice cover. That was levels.
And that lasted right into summer, right?
Yeah.
When you look at these numbers, does it tell you anything about how much snow you'll actually get? It tells you maybe the opportunities for snow.
Mike, that's so important. It's not as important as what it does tell you as what it doesn't tell you. And this is what we have to clear up for a lot of our viewers here. As an example, it's not going to tell you how many storms Boston is going to get from winter weather through the season. It won't even tell you that the second week in February may be cold or warm in Minnesota. These temperature forecasts have been developed specifically for insurance companies, for derivatives brokers, utilities, utility companies so they can plan ahead for the winter.
One thing I noticed is truly the upper Midwest. Maybe you look at a place like northern Minnesota. Could be a little bit different forecast for them this year than last year.
Well, it certainly could. We're looking at conditions not to be as cold as last year. That doesn't mean, though, that in any particular day or any particular week, they couldn't get clobbered with a big winter storm.
All right, take a look at, we're not dealing with snow and ice just yet, but take a look at this. This is what we had with last year in Duluth, Cleon, all right? Storms like this, early season, A, B, C storms, D storms, those can be highly impactful and catch people off guard.
Long track winter storm here produced a lot of ice and snow across a good swath of the country. You have to be prepared for winter. It's time to start looking at that now.
All right, Tom's going to be back with us. He's going to talk about how water temperatures in the Pacific could impact our winter. That's still to come.
When your house loses power, it can be tough for your family. But not if your family has a Kohler generator. Restores power automatically in as little as 10 seconds and is backed by a 5-year limited warranty. Kohler generators. Keep your family flowing.
When the power goes out, you'll go on. Contact your Kohler Generators dealer today.
Cooper engineers its tires not just for performance, but real life performance. So before you get in, get going, get gone. You need to get a tire that gets you, because life's a road trip. Come on, let's go. Buy 4 qualifying Cooper tires and get up to a $70 prepaid card by mail. See retailer for details.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.